from the Las Vegas Strip studio in gorgeous Las Vegas, Nevada. It's BettorCenter Live. I'm your host, Brad Stein. You can watch us daily, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on the weekends on LouisDiamond.com. Also YouTube at Louis Diamond. Today we have 3 sports handicappers professional here to help us make a little bit of money. Coming up, we have some NBA, Major League Baseball, and some early NFL picks. And, of course, the most interesting play of the day will be discussed. Boys, the NHL, Gary Bettman, they made it. They made it through COVID-19. We have Stanley Cup champions. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And NBA coming up tomorrow. NBA Finals, game number 1. A lot to discuss. We're going to welcome our 3 sports handicappers right here on the show. Tony Gullidge, Louis Bag of Diamonds, and Chip. We are out Private Benjamin today, but he will be back most likely tomorrow. So welcome aboard, gentlemen.
Hey, good morning, Brad.
What did you guys learn from yesterday at Monday Night Football? The Baltimore Ravens just couldn't keep up with those Kansas City Chiefs, still proving that they do not have a Super Bowl hangover yet. But again, it's still early, guys. We're not overreacting. We don't do that, right? We're sports handicappers. We're professional sports people. We don't overreact after 3 weeks of the NFL completed. No way. Tony G, what did you learn from yesterday?
Wow. First, I learned that Andy Reid is a much better coach than Harbaugh. He was prepared for the game. Baltimore wasn't. The offense was disgusting. 97 passing yards on 28 attempts, about 3.5 yards per pass play for Baltimore last night. The thing I noted that really made the deciding factor in the game was the Baltimore defense surrendered 10 of 13 on third downs, but 2 of those 3 misses by Kansas City were in the fourth quarter once the outcome of the game had pretty much been decided. Sloppy performance all the way around. I think Baltimore's got a lot of work to do if they're going to show me they can beat Kansas City in a game that matters. I was impressed with Kansas City, but more disappointed with Baltimore last night.
If you blitz Patrick Mahomes, you better get to Patrick Mahomes, right, Louis Diamond? What did you learn? And before you tell us what you learned, why don't you tell us a little bit about BettorCenter Live, please?
BettorCenter Live. You catch us every morning. We're not going anywhere, guys. We're here to give you the information every single day. You can join us at BettorCenter.com, or the best place to join us is on YouTube. Louis Diamond, YouTube.com/Louis Diamond. You subscribe to us, and we'll get you the information every day, and nice and early for you, too, so you can make some informed decisions when it's time to pull the trigger. So what did I learn yesterday? I learned a couple things yesterday in that football game, which one thing I kind of knew was, they're selling, the Mahomes and Jackson as the next Brady Manning. And I'm having a tough time buying that because it's clearly evident that Mahomes it's clearly evident that Mahomes has the touch. Lamar Jackson has all the talent in the world, but he does not have the touch on the ball. And that is what is going to cost them in the long history. Now, Lamar's great. I don't want to take anything away from him, but I'm not giving him accuracy. Mahomes clearly cut above the rest. Now, that being said, that puts Baltimore in a beautiful position next week where they're playing Washington. It was 14 yesterday. Now it's 13.5. Everybody's having the knee-jerk ball. You can pretty much go to town on Baltimore next week. I learned that.
Chip, what did you learn?
Well, I've said this before and I discussed it during the week. I've learned, and it just reinforced my previous conviction, that anytime you hear a quarterback say, when they were making this a big matchup between the 2 quarterbacks, and anytime you hear a quarterback's response say, it's just another game, Lamar Jackson. He ran for 1,200 yards last year, and accuracy for a quarterback, he's going to have to run for 1,200 yards. They'll never be able to win until he can accurately place that ball in an offense like the top quarterbacks do. I think what I've learned is that anytime I hear a quarterback or a pitcher say it's just another game, they're going in the tank. I've seen it happen a number of times. They're either afraid and they just want to say it's just another game, and what you do is you get your opposition riled up. Oh, we're just another opponent, huh? Okay. So
Good point.
I just hate hearing that.
Yeah, I want to see
Very
Lamar
good point.
Jackson bring his team back from behind, like double-digit points. Until we see that consistently and make consistent throws in the pocket, Baltimore Ravens are really good, but Kansas City is the elite of the AFC. And that's going to bring us to game number one, gentlemen, and that's game number one of the NBA Finals, the Miami Heat at the LA Lakers in Orlando bubble. NHL did it successfully. The NBA is about to be successful here in COVID-19, so let's get these odds. Lakers opened up at -4.5. Now it's -5. 217.5 is the over-under. Louis D, do you have any thoughts on basketball before I pass it over to the chipster?
I got a couple thoughts on the game. Nothing that's really going to make you want to pull the trigger here. I just see, a coin flip. Really, so I'm obviously, if I believe it's a coin, as far as the point spread's concerned, 5-5. These teams go back and forth. Last 10 games, same with the total. 5 overs, 5 unders. So I think you got, I just feel like Miami is the hot team going in or playing with a lot less pressure. Lakers are expected to do too much. And will they pull it off? Odds are history is on their side. There's no doubt about that. But this Miami team, they got a little spark in them. So I'll lean on the dog a little bit.
All right, Chip. I talked to Tony off the air about this game because I want to put some coin on the Miami Heat. What would you suggest in the series?
Save your money.
Okay.
Let me tell you.
Wait, it's my wife's money, Chip.
Well, then spend it as soon as you can. When I see this matchup, of course the key is going to be Jimmy Butler, but Miami's going to need a hero in order to win. And I think LeBron is motivated. He is determined here. And I think the Lakers are favored for only the third time in 10 NBA Finals that LeBron has been in. And so I think that gives them an advantage. I know that Miami, it looks great, and they're a popular team here, and the numbers sort of telling you that they may be a side. I haven't pulled the trigger on this game yet, but right now I have a lean toward the Lakers, and maybe the inexperience of the Heat in the playoffs would hurt, but the Lakers haven't been there in a while either, other than James. So, right now it's a tough call. I'm looking to see how the money goes on this, and as of now, I've seen it's kind of 50-50. And we'll go from here.
All right, but what about in game one? Do you think that Miami
I'm
can
actually
pull the upset?
talking. Sure, they can. My goodness, they're giving them a great chance with that number at 4.5. But we have to remember all these games are on neutral sites, so don't get it in your head when you see a team listed bottom or top that they may have some sort of advantage. Like I said, right now, Brad, I'm looking to see what I think the public's going to come with. And I think for the most part, I would have a lean on the Lakers, but it won't be one of my top plays. I can tell you that.
All right, Gullidge. I saved the best for last because I know you're hot on the NBA. It's the NBA Finals. LeBron in his 10th NBA Finals in 17 years. That's 58%. That's unbelievable. Who do you like in game number one? And then we'll talk about the series.
Yeah, game one would be the toughest to really pin down. You look at the Lakers in the previous series. If we go back to the NBA preview I did for this show, I think I mentioned that of all the teams, I thought LeBron would view this as an opportunity to get scoop up another title. And I'm definitely going to keep with that mentality here. Game one, the trickiest game. These numbers, I compare these spreads to the other teams. So this is about in line with what the Lakers were giving to Denver. I noticed that the lines with Denver, even though when the Lakers covered, the lines were ticking down 6, 5.5, 5. Now we're in that 4.5, 5 range here. I just think the Lakers are simply a little better team overall, counting the bench, counting everything. You got a couple key players that you're going to have to cover. That hero guy could be the spark plug that gets them a win or two. But I believe the problem is going to be covering James and keeping him from being comfortable at the point position. Adebayo, with his athleticism, seems like the logical choice, but the guy has a tendency to reach and grab, which could put him into foul trouble. And if that guy's not out there to cover LeBron, I see issues from Miami, not to mention Davis being a tough cover. So how they decide to do that. In game one, I'm going to just go with me thinking the Lakers are going to win the series. I'm going to step out on a limb and play them in game one. But this is, for me, this is always the toughest game of a series to pin down is the first one.
Wait. Which one of you said that the Heat need a hero? Because they do have a hero. They have a Tyler hero.
They're going to
need it. That doesn't mean they're going to get it.
That is absolutely true. All right, guys.
I caught that play on words. I thought that's what he was going for, man, when he did it.
Duh.
Brad. Come on, Brad.
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, Tony, I got a question. No, I had a question for Tony because I heard him singing pre-show, and I was wondering what you do with all the money.
Yeah, that I don't spend on the singing lessons, right?
Yeah, that your parents gave you for the singing lessons, Tony. No, actually, I'm only teasing you. You sounded pretty good. I thought you were part of the Sound of Music, to tell you the truth.
He did choir. He was forced to play choir.
The entertainment's free around here before show. Free game.
Yeah, well, what happened, Chip, is his parents put him in choir because he couldn't throw a baseball or a football and he couldn't shoot a basketball.
He could always have been a punching bag. Could have been a punching bag.
Pretty good basketball players, guys. Come on. I was like all city in high school, so not bad for a white kid about 5'11". So.
Well, if it was 1955, you would have been a star, baby.
Were there more than one schools in that city?
Charlotte, North Carolina. We had 8 high schools.
All right,
8 schools.
100
people.
Bobby Jones, Walter Davis. I can name Cedric Maxwell.
Well, you can stop at Bobby Jones because he was one of the great ones.
I actually went to East Mech. Bobby Jones went to South Mech. So we played against them every year.
All right, brace yourself, Tony G. Yeah, brace yourself. We're moving to the Major League Baseball playoffs. We're going to start with the Yankees. We touched on this yesterday, but here we go. We have the Beeps and Cole on the mound for the Yankees, and Cleveland has opened up Yankees -108. Currently, it's -109 with a 6.5 over/under. We'll start right with Mr. Chip Chirimbus, the big Yankee fan. Go ahead.
I think the Yankees are in trouble here. They've had a very weak lineup all year. They've had 4 guys at 200 or lower. And so they get Stanton back. He's not a big hitter. One good thing the Yankees are doing, they are sitting Gary Sanchez when Cole pitches. His ERA is 3 runs lower without Sanchez behind the plate. He's an abomination as a catcher. But I think the Yankees are in trouble here. I really do. I think Cleveland's got the pitching staff. Their staff led the majors in ERA. It was like 3.48. And they don't score many runs. They really haven't. But Ramirez has gotten hot of late, and maybe he'll give them the offensive firepower they need. But the Yankees are just too inconsistent. It's either all or nothing with the long ball with them. And I don't think they're built for the playoffs. And if they don't win tonight, of course, you're going to please it closing on Sunday and Carrasco tomorrow. I think Cleveland has a major advantage the entire series.
Any bag of diamonds over there, Louis?
Kind of seen it the way Chip has seen it. Yankees, and the way we talked about it yesterday. Yankees they're backed up against the wall in game one. And this has to be their spot where they play. I see this as a coin flip, but I got to just lean to the Yankees because more pressure on them. But they're going against Bieber, who's, he's a beast. So it's a scary series. It's a scary bet. And if I were a Yankee fan, I'd be pretty worried.
Lou, if I could interject, Shane Bieber won the pitching triple crown this year. Most wins, strikeouts, and ERA, and that's quite a feat. He was 8-1, 1.7 ERA. He's going to be tough. 2-1 against the Yankees and 1-0 against the Yankees and 2 starts with an 8.31 ERA. He got bombed the second time out.
Yeah, and you got to know that Cleveland they're going into this game knowing this. I mean, this isn't a secret. They know they need this one tonight, and they need Bieber to go out there and give him his best effort, but they need to back him also. So they need to get some bats going. So, yeah, I think the Yankees are probably in trouble, but I think it's a coin flip tonight. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens because I think that you'll get more play on the next couple games. You'll get a higher number on the total for the under. That 6.5, they got me there. I'm not going under. They'll probably go under. We'll see what happens.
Tony Gullidge, how do you see this game number 1, Yankees and Cleveland?
Yeah. All right. I'm going to give all my baseball picks out. My inner circle might not be happy, but what I'm not going to do is tell you how I'm betting them. So to get that, you'll need to come check me at thegreatwhitecapper.com. This series, I got my notes ready to fire off here. Cleveland 18-12 at home. The Yankees 11-18 on the road. Just disgusting performance on the road for the Yankees this season. Bieber on the mound. Cleveland is a perfect 4-0 at home, 10-2 overall, 5-2 his last 7. Chip mentioned his numbers: ERA, WHIP, strikeout. I think he's got 122 strikeouts in 71 innings pitched. So basically, it's a strikeout, or so the Yankees hitters who struggle to contact expect a lot of strikeouts. Is bottom line. Bieber's probably going to be striking out a lot of guys today. Garrett Cole, this is the only chance I see for the Yankees. A loss today, they're doomed. I think they might be doomed anyway. I like Cleveland in the series, but they're 4-2 in his 6 road starts, 8-4 overall. But they're only 3-4 in his last 7 starts. But I did note his last 3 starts, Cole has looked good. 7 innings pitched and only 1 run in the 3 starts allowed. So it's the best chance the Yankees have. But I like Cleveland tonight and in the series.
Well, at least we squeezed a little information out of you, Tony Gullich. Thank you very much. Coming up next, Tony Cusimano, the man on the street. He's back. He's somewhere in Texas. Where exactly is he, and what is he about to say? We'll find out next on BettorCenter Live on LouisDiamond.com. Also, YouTube at Louis Diamond. Brad Stein here live from Las Vegas. Join us daily for BettorCenter Live with our professional handicappers, where you get sports information you can bet on. Stop gambling, start winning. BettorCenter Live. We squeezed a little information out of you, Tony Cusimano, please tell us where you
Looking good, Tony.
All right, well, crew, BettorCenter Live. I am in Arlington, Texas, home of the Texas Rangers, Globe Life Field.
You know they're not in the playoffs, right, Cusimano? You know they're not in the playoffs, right?
No, Texas Rangers, second worst record.
What are you doing there?
Rangers. However,
what are you doing there?
We're not. Well, here's what
They're
we're
not
doing
in the
here.
playoffs.
We are here because, believe it or not, because of the oddity of this. Well, I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing here. The oddity of 2020 with the coronavirus, the 60 game shortened season. We are at Globe Life because this is actually the home of the 2020 World Series, also the 2020 National League Championship Series and Division Playoffs. Obviously, right now, everyone's at home. The only neutral site in baseball today is White Sox, Oakland, playing at Petco in San Diego, probably, obviously, because of the wildfires up north. Aside from that, we're pretty much laying the groundwork here for the road to the World Series. I'll be here probably a couple of times reporting. But right now at this time, it was more of just I guess you could say, an intro to the baseball playoffs. Obviously, you guys were talking about Yankees, Cleveland a minute ago. But we've got a full array of games. We've got Houston, Minnesota tonight at Minnesota. Greinke's on the mound. So we've got a lot to talk about. But this is just, again, more of actually, I've got to go against the grain. If we could agree to disagree on this one, I'm not going to bet against the Yankees. The way they've been hitting the ball coming out of the last 2 weeks of the season, anything is possible. Shane Bieber is pitching. Cleveland is at home. But anything can happen in a 3-game series. We've seen this before, guys. You've been around. We've all got a few gray hairs on our head. And, that's right there is I guess you could say, especially in this game we're in, anything is possible. A booted ball. What if a line drive comes back, a comebacker off of Shane Bieber's thigh, and he's out? Anything is possible.
Yeah, I'm going to handicap that. Hey, let me ask you this. Yes, sir. Let me ask you this. Can you go to a football school somewhere in Texas tomorrow and get us some information again? Can you do that?
Tomorrow.
Instead of having me pay you to sit in front of a team that's not even going to play off?
What are you talking about? There's going to be games being played here next week. Look, we're worth 2 out of 3 and done, and then the National League playoffs are here. And in Houston, of course. I don't know who's going to be seated here
next week.
Well, how about tomorrow? We're going to be at SMU covering the SMU Memphis Tigers game. We're also going to be at AT&T Stadium covering Cleveland at the Cowboys this week. So we've got a lot on our agenda this week. I'll be back in the San Francisco Bay Area for the 49ers and Eagles. So we've got a lot on the agenda.
I got a big play on that.
Well, right now, this is what we've got here. It's just that we're Globe Life Field, home of the World Series, and just an intro to the baseball playoffs. That's it. Today we got 4 games in the American League, as everyone well knows. And so with that, Brad Stein and the crew, Lou and Chip and everybody, I guess I'll throw it back to the studio. And anything else about baseball? Anything else about the Rangers? Anything else about
Give me a fucking pick.
So that's tomorrow. Well, I'm staying out of this. This is an oddity here, guys. I mean, this is a first time once in a.
You said Yankees, right? You like the Yankees.
I do. I am leaning Yankees. Again, anything can happen in these best of 3. I mean, this is an oddity here. We don't know what to expect. Again, we didn't know what to expect with this coronavirus, if there was even going to be a season. And, I guess if there's any other note I could add, in the greater Dallas metro area, the Dallas Stars were a bridesmaid last night. They ended up losing up Edmonton to the Toronto to the
Nobody wants you to add anything.
Lightning.
Maybe you should have been at the airport at the team charter. That would have been.
All right, we got an Italian that likes the Yankees tonight. Good stuff.
Imagine that. The guy that likes the Yankees tonight. Well, from the home of the World Series 2020, Brad, I'm going to throw it back to you guys in the studio. Take it away. Baseball playoffs start
Thanks,
today.
Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony Cusimano. BettorCenter Live, LouisDiamond.com. Also, YouTube at Louis Diamond. One question for you, Tony C. What are you doing there in Arlington? There's no game there. Don't you know that?
Oh, please.
Right.
I mean, what? Monday Night Football, he goes to Nashville. The game's in Denver.
Oh, God.
All right, boys. Major League Baseball, the playoffs. There's 4 games. We all know that. So let's move to game number 3, the Houston Astros, Minnesota Twins. This game opened up minus 138 Minnesota. Now it is minus 163. 7.5 is the over-under. Zach Greinke's on the stinking mound for Houston. Louis Bag of Diamonds, help us out here, please.
Well, I think if there's a cherry here, it's a little bit of the favorite. Minnesota definitely looks like the play here. The under is most definitely a play, but maybe not so much in the first game due to the fact that Greinke has an over history versus the Twinkies. So I believe 8 out of the last 10 or 7 out of the last 10 have gone over versus the Twinkies. And Maeda, when he faced Houston, he loses 14-0, but that was a different Houston ball club in 2018, and he was with the Dodgers. So a couple of little things that keep you a little scared. But this series, Minnesota's got to be the play. You just got to find a way to ride them in your parlays. They are 23-7 at home. When Houston, not even a 500 ball club in the playoffs, 9-21 on the road. Find ways to take advantage of Minnesota in some parlays.
Thank you, Louis Bag of Diamonds. My 5-year-old son, his favorite movie is Over the Top, starring Sylvester Stallone, 1987, right here, filmed in Great Las Vegas. When in the movie, Stallone was a truck driver.
Over the Top?
That's his favorite movie. He once that Stallone would get in arm wrestling mode, he would turn his hat on backwards. I noticed the same with the Chipster. He puts on his glasses when he gets serious. So now we're getting serious, Chipster. Please take the floor.
Yeah, well, I have to. When I look at these numbers that I see with Greinke as a postseason pitcher and as a lifetime pitcher against Minnesota, 5-9 lifetime against this team, and in the postseason he's 3-6 and his ERA is high. You know, Greinke's always had these issues about people in the stands, or he gets, I don't know, he gets paranoid, and he's had some problems psychologically, and he had to get into. I think the idea that there's cardboard boxes in the seats, as opposed to the players, are going to give him a psychological advantage, at least his mindset. I mean, this year, he was so cocky at some times when he was pitching, he would actually call out the pitch and tell the batter what was coming. This game is sort of overkill. The Minnesota side is such a positive. The Houston had the worst record on the road this year, and it's a lot different when you don't know what pitch is coming. So the Astros have struggled, but this number opening where it did, of course it had to get higher. with Kenta, Maeda on the mound for Minnesota. He's been absolutely outstanding. I'm not quite sure about the pronunciation, but I can see him throw the ball, and he is really tough. He almost had a no-hitter earlier this year, lost it in the ninth in a game the Twins actually ended up losing. But it's too much. It's too much one-sided. It's too one-sided. I would take a shot at Houston as an underdog just because I expect all of the play, 90% of the action. Probably won't be that big, but I expect most of the action to be on Minnesota. And I'm going to take a shot with the team with the worst record to make the playoffs, 2 games under 500, the Houston Astros.
Our game number 3, Tony Gullidge. Do you agree or disagree with the Chipster?
Well, I think we discussed this. It might have been my most interesting play yesterday when it was like $1.45 to take Maeda in this spot. It went up. I told the Inner Circle last night to get on this quick. We're on Minnesota. The Twins are 24-7. The Twins are 24-7 at home. Houston Astros are 9-23 on the road. Just the opposite. I mean, just massive mathematical difference there. And for Maeda at home, they're 5-0 in his 5 home starts, 8-3 overall. But I noted in all 11 of his starts, he has given up 3 runs or less. And they're 5-2 in his last 7 starts. For Greinke, the Houston Astros are 0-5. So you've got 5-0 on one hand, and you've got 0-5 on the other. 4-8 in the 12 Greinke starts overall. Just the value is diminishing as this line rises, but there's still value. And normally I would look for a run line position here, but in the playoffs, I really don't like to do that. So I'll kind of play with my risk to kind of offset the higher juice. But definitely for me, I think this is the biggest lopsided play on the board. I like the Twins in this game, and I think they're just going to easily dispatch the Astros in the series.
Thank you, Tony. Game number 4, Toronto, Tampa, -155 at open Tampa. Now it's -197. Now it's 7.5 as the over-under. Shoemaker and Snell on the line. We're going to stay right with you, Tony, because I know you're hot on Major League Baseball. The red hair's flapping. I see it.
Oh, yeah. I got a flap going. Okay. Tampa Bay, Toronto, game 1 tonight. Is Snell against Shoemaker. I did notice this is the only matchup in the American League playoffs where the teams actually played this season. Tampa Bay won 6 of the 10 games, so they played each other 10 times. Tampa Bay is 20-9 at home, solid home record, over 67%. Toronto 15-19 on the road, not awful but not good. So you got Snell 4-2 at home. Toronto is 1-3 in the 4 Shoemaker road starts. I just noted Shoemaker shaky. This is probably, I'm going to take the run line here, but I did note Toronto looks like they're in better position after this game. It's almost like they threw a dud out to face Snell in this opener, that they're maybe saving their better pitcher behind him to try to get a win. Might be a good strategy, but I do like the Tampa Bay on the run line here in the opener.
Chip.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Okay, I think there's only one way to go in this game, and I have to take Tampa, the best team in baseball, at home, except for the Dodgers. I mean, in the American League, I should have qualified that. Shoemaker, believe it or not, he's a veteran. He's 4-0 lifetime over Tampa, but that's not going to help him today, I don't think. And I think that the Blue Jays, who didn't have a home game all year, did a great job finishing where they did. They've got a lot of firepower in that lineup. I just think that that Rays pitching, starting with Snell tonight, is going to dominate. And they're a much better team, and I think there's no more fooling around. And Toronto is happy to be where they are, and it's sort of like it's just another game. So I don't think they're going to win.
Any diamonds, Lewis?
Well, I don't know how well you can count this stat, but Tampa Bay is 83-39 at home versus Toronto. So there's total domination there with Tampa Bay versus this team. 21-10 the last 31 meetings, but they're a $2 favorite. So remember a few seconds ago when I told you Minnesota was the sweet spot? That's because of the price. Here, the sweet spot was yesterday at $1.50. Now you're at $2. So I think the only way you can play it right now is you tie Tampa Bay in with Minnesota in a parlay, and the over probably has the edge here. 3 out of the last 3, 1-1 to the over, but both pitchers have some overing that happened this year. 8-3 to the over for Snell, 4-2 to the over for Shoemaker. So maybe a little over, but find a way to tie up Tampa Bay. Should be easy money. I don't want to let you win.
Easy money. How about most interesting play of the day? So interesting money, and we'll stay right with you, Louis D.
That will be it. My most interesting play today, as we sit down and talk about it, it just unfolded. A 2-team parlay with the Minnesota Twins and the who the hell the last team we just talked about, the Tampa Bay Rays. So a little 2-team parlay should get you the money there today.
Thank you, Louis D. That brings us to Tony Gullidge, the most interesting play of the day. Day, not week. Day.
Yeah, let's just go with the fourth play in the baseball, the one we didn't cover. I'm going to back the Oakland here as the slight underdog at home. I'm noting this is the one series where I'm actually going against the grain a little bit. Giolito on the mound against Luzardo. I noticed both are great situational. The A's are 5-1 in the 6 Luzardo starts, while the White Sox are nice 4-1 in the Giolito road start. So you have a really good matchup here in terms of situation. I think Oakland is. I don't like the White Sox as much because they're slumping coming into the playoffs. I do not like teams that are slumping coming into the playoffs, and that's the White Sox have been struggling. I'm going to take Oakland as my most interesting play of the day.
Chip, you've been very interesting today. What is your most interesting play of the day?
Favored in one of these playoff games, and particularly a team that's lost 9 of their last 12. And I'm talking about the White Sox, who come limping into the playoffs. And once they clinched, they just went into the tank and took a rest. They lost 7 of their last 8 as well. And they come up a favorite on the road in the playoffs after losing the seed and coming. I just think that there's something wrong here, and I'm going to take the White Sox as my most interesting play because they are favored on the road in a situation where they shouldn't be. Now, if this game is at a neutral site, it certainly does change the dynamics of it, but that only hurts Oakland a little bit more. So I'm going to stay with the White Sox here. I think they'll decide.
Gentlemen, history has just been made. We're only a little bit over time, and Tony Gullidge has been on the show. We only went like 32 minutes with Tony Gullidge on the show. So quickly, Eugene, mute everyone, especially Tony. We'll see you next time on BettorCenter Live for more up-to-date information and great picks. Thank you to our fantastic team, Louis, Chip, Tony, and Dylan Ross aren't here, but thank you to them also, and of course to Eugene, our technical director, our producer. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. We appreciate you. If you don't play, guys, you won't win. BettorCenter Live on BettorCenter.com, LouisDiamond.com, YouTube at Louis Diamond, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time during the week. On the weekend, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm Brad. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.